Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. On today's Unbiased Hard Take, going to talk about all NBA Finals today, all podcasts long. This is going to be our Miami Heat making the finals celebration podcast. Special for that, like we have been saying, all playoff long. We are a title contender, and entering the playoffs, Miami had a 0.8% chance of making the finals. Not a 1.8 chance. 0.8% chance. With that being said, you have the Denver Nuggets as the 1 seed who made it, and the Miami Heat as the 8 seed who made it. A lot of people are saying this is going to be the most boring NBA Finals of all time. Do you think this Finals is good for basketball or bad for basketball, and why?
Well, for me, I think it's going to be a good one because, one, Heat is in the finals this year, and two, it's going to be a grit. It's going to be more of like a grit type basketball, more fundamentals than what we've seen in a while. Even though yes, Denver does have some flashy plays in their playbook, but I mean, all in all, it's just going to be a grit, traditional basketball game.
Yes, and this Finals is going to more be like the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Not all-stars, not the big two or the dynamic duo or a big three like in the past. It's going to be team basketball. Nikola Jokic is this generation's Tim Duncan. He's boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do anything flashy. He's fundamentals. He's just really efficient and really elite and I would think, probably the best player in the league right now. He's just boring.
Mm-hmm.
He's not flashy and fun to watch on the screen. In Miami, with 7 undrafted free agents, you look at our roster, really, we and you have been Heat fans for a long time. We've watched a lot. Yes, you've been longer than me, yes. But both of us over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've watched our team get to the finals, what? They made it in 06, they made it in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2020, and then this year, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's off the top of my head.
Yep.
And really, in my opinion, this is the worst, as far as talent-wise, the worst Miami Heat team on paper.
You think the 2020 was worse? Or do you think this year's was worse?
On a straight, on paper, talent perspective, this year's. Because you look, Tyler Hero, hurt. He wasn't hurt in 2020. Victor Oladipo, he's also hurt, one of our best scorers. We don't have PJ Tucker anymore. Goran Dragic was part of that team, correct? 2020 team?
Yes.
Yes, and he was an all-star. He made one all-star team when he was with us. So our team on a talent paper perspective is not as good. We have Max Strus, undrafted, Highsmith, Bam Adebayo, who made the all-star team, but a lot of people don't really look at him as an all-star. He is an all-star. Our best 2 players, Bam and Jimmy, but really beyond that, look, you got a washed-up Kyle Lowry, a washed-up Kevin Love, a bunch of undrafted guys, and here we are. So we have to sit and ask ourselves, why? Coaching matters. Team basketball matters. Work ethic. When they said 3% chance, they didn't take into account Heat culture, did they?
Nope. But, I mean, yes, we have a washed up Kyle Lowry, but he stepped up quite a bit, and he made some outstanding clutch shots. And when we called his number, he delivered. And he already won a championship, so he knows the experience. So that is a good stepping stone for our young players, our role players, but Jimmy calls them teammates.
Yes.
But I mean, for everyone else, they're role players. I mean, you never expect them to be Caleb Martin, not to be a stud like he is when you face Boston. You never seen Max Strus to be a clutch 3-point shooter that we had the whole entire season. Same thing as Duncan Robinson, even though he's kind of hit and miss for me. And
he's very inconsistent.
Even Gabe Vincent, he averaged 8 points in the G League, and now he's been averaging double that. So
Yes,
I
and that
mean,
just gets back to, and that's why I think this is great for basketball. Yes, the Denver Nuggets are the best team in the league, in my opinion, really. However, or like we said, they're not very flashy, they're not fun. So you add that, they've never been to the finals, which is cool.
hmm
You add that with an 8 seed Miami team, only the second 8 seed ever to make the finals, and the only 8
Syracuse was
seed,
the first one.
yes, and we're the only 8 seed to make the finals in a full 82 game season. That Knicks team was like a 50 some odd game season. It was a strike year. So
Yeah.
we're the first 8 seed to make it in a traditional season.
hmm
So you add the underdog aspect of the Miami Heat with the fundamentally strong aspect of the Denver Nuggets. Yes, it is boring, but it's good for the game of basketball
hmm
because it shows and it reminds people that just because you build a super team doesn't mean you're going to win. Ask Kevin Durant. How's it went since he's left Golden State? This is reiterating the fact that coaching matters more than your all-star selfish players.
Exactly.
That's good for basketball. It might not be good for viewership and ratings and money, but it's good for the game, and people forget that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. And like you said in your last short take, Eric Spoelstra is one of the best head coach in the NBA by far.
The
Like
the best coach.
you never see any other coach that can give out so many role playing or teammates that won't give no one a shot, and then he make them diamonds,
Yes, diamonds in the rough.
like pure diamonds in the rough, and like no teams
Duncan,
had ever never seen nothing towards him. So
right? You look like you said Caleb Martin. You mentioned the
mhm,
Hornets cut him.
yep,
Hornets one of the worst teams in the league, and now look, he besides Jimmy Butler, he was probably the second best player in the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah. I
And the
mean,
Hornets cut him.
I mean when all's said and done, I mean we're glad that we picked up Kale Martin, and
Hmm.
shout out to J Cole, J Cole, thank you J
That's
Cole.
right.
Mm-hmm. But but no, I think Caleb Martin is one of one of the best players that we signed.
Yes, absolutely.
So
And I'm just really, this is truly the most excited I have been for an NBA Finals in my lifetime as a Heat fan.
hmm
Yeah, the LeBron era, the Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh era, back when even Wade made it with Shaq. It was fun. It was great, but we knew we were supposed to be there. Really, we knew that we were the best team, especially in the LeBron era. We knew we were the best team, and this time we're the underdog, and that's kind of exciting.
hmm
It's a change for once.
right, I do believe so.
Is the time we have for that topic. Moving on, again, like we said, this is going to be an all NBA Finals episode. With that, again, the Miami Heat are massive underdogs in this series. The Miami Heat, according to the DraftKings Sportsbook, are plus 310 to lift the title trophy, where the Wow, the DraftKings Sportsbook screwed this up. They said Denver Broncos. Sorry, they had a typo. That threw me off. But the Denver Nuggets have been given a minus 400% chance to win the championship, which is a massive gap there for two title contending teams. Do you think the massive underdog role for the Heat has played a role in their ability to get this far?
Mm, I wouldn't say it like that. Um, I wouldn't say that it's more like a role playing. Like I said, Eric Spoelstra is he's a great coach. Um, he he can pick he, everyone on our roster this year. He has a certain role for each of them players.
Yes.
So, like for example, we didn't see Kevin Love in the Boston series as much.
No.
So that's why, because it wasn't fit for that role for that
Mhm.
series.
Yes.
So, and we didn't see much of your Steven. Um, who else did we didn't see for a while?
Didn't really see a lot of Highsmith. He was there a little bit. You didn't see a lot of Cody
Highsmith,
Zeller
yeah,
either.
Highsmith was there for a little bit. Um,
Cody Zeller, you didn't see a lot of.
Yeah.
At least I didn't notice him.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly, but I do believe this series we're gonna probably see a little bit more of Yurt Steffen, because
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's like instead it's a it's a role, and that's why we have that tall center. For example, we have a great example, a tall center that can guard tall centers. When he was playing in the regular season, that's what he was there for, guarding bigger centers when he was
Yes,
playing.
I agree. And Spo is amazing at, because people forget, he started his career as a film analyst.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say, well, why does that matter? Well, look, obviously it matters because he's dragged 7 undrafted free agents to the NBA finals. I mean, mind you, we were down 3 minutes to go in the play-in game against the Bulls. Let that sink in for a minute. Something clicked with this team, and I think, yes, like you said, all that, yes, Spo's amazing, but I do think they used a little bit of bulletin board material, and it kind of helped their drive, looking at how disrespected we've been all playoff long, and still to this moment are disrespected. Look at the DraftKings Sportsbook. People are like, oh, Denver's so much better than Miami, and you know what? I agree. They are. But you know what? So's Boston. So was New York. So was Milwaukee. All those teams on paper, and really all regular season long, were better than Miami. They were. They had better records. We're the 8th seed. They were all seeded better than us. We didn't have home court at all, any series, and yet we still won against the Bucks. They had a former league MVP and a former NBA champion in Giannis. He's actually won a championship. Beat him. New York. They had a better record than us all year long. Jalen Brunson, a star. He's blooming. He's a future face of that franchise in New York.
And everyone thought that Jalen Brunson wasn't gonna work out for the New York Knicks, and now look at him.
Right. Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas. Oh. We're not talking about Dallas today. It's about Miami. Anyway.
But yeah.
And then they move on. Tom Thibodeau's a great coach with New York. And then you beat them, shouldn't have beat New York, and then you move on to the Boston series, where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, on paper, are better players.
I'm gonna say this though: Jason Tatum he's not reliable. He's not a reliable player. He'll give you points. He'll give you 30 points one game, and he'll give you 5 the next. He's unreliable. I'm just gonna say it right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to add a little bit to that. He made excuses after they lost. If you are out there on the court, on the field, on the baseball diamond, whatever sport you're playing, and you're playing, especially at that level, the best level in the world, you're out there playing, no excuses. And he goes, "Oh, I wasn't myself afterwards." You think Kobe would have said that?
Nope.
No. You think LeBron would have said that?
Nope.
No. You think D Wade would have said that? No.
Nope.
Butler wouldn't have said that. These guys don't say that because he's soft. But anyway, and then we get the Boston series. Shouldn't have beat them. So I do think it's played a little bit of a role in our ability to get motivated, but I think we're here because of us, not because of bulletin board material. Now, again, we're big underdogs, and we should be. I'm telling you, I don't understand how many times people have to be surprised that we win. How many series we got to win before people put some respect on our name? I mean, Jesus, we're in the finals, for Christ's sake.
And we're still being underdogs.
Big underdogs. I get being underdogs. And I want to say this. I'm going to make my prediction in our next segment on who I think is going to win. But I don't understand why we are so big underdogs. I understand why we're underdogs. Just not big underdogs.
Yeah. But no, like you said, the Caesar Sportsbook, they have a 9-point deficit of Denver Nuggets winning. A 9-point deficit. So
that's insane.
And if it's going to be like that, then it's going to be a fun series.
All we need to do is pull one out in Denver. That's it. I think we'll win tonight. I do. I think we win tonight, and we'll lose game 2. We just need to split in Denver and get back to Miami at 1 apiece.
Yep.
But moving on to the next topic, now me and JB will make some predictions. Now, of course, with the NBA, 30 teams, we're down to 2 finally out of the 30 teams. So some clarity finally. We've made it to the title round. Who do you think wins, and in how many games?
Heat by 7.
Heat in 7?
Heat in 7.
He predicted it right last time. JB says Heat in 7. I'm saying I don't think 7. I think it'll go 6. I think last series we kind of learned a lesson. We were, mind you, I was nervous. I was extremely nervous. We were going to embarrass ourselves. We were. We were going to be the first team to blow a 3-0 lead. You imagine the memes?
Oh yeah. The Jimmy
I think
Butler timeout is going to be it will be a huge meme.
that would have been, and I think
But
we
no
learned
one's
a
showing
lesson.
the Al Horford one.
That's because they were favored in the biased sports media. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. Speaking of that, you see how disappointed the TNT staff were to give us that title trophy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were so mad. They looked so depressed. It was like a funeral. I loved it. Loved it. But I think that anyway, we did learn a lesson. It's never over till it's over. Us being up 3-0 and almost blowing it proves that. Heat in 6. Heat in 6. Game 1 will win. Game 2 they'll win. I think we'll win the next 2 games at home. And at that point, I think they will win their one in Denver, and then we'll go back to Miami in Game 6, and I think we'll be able to finally close it out. That the inability we were able to when me and you watched the game together against Boston. Unfortunately, we were both celebrating a little too early, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll pull the table over to you and tell you why you think 7.
For me, the reason why I think 7 is it's going to be a back and forth. And I know I said this before with the Boston Celtics. They're too good to go 4-0. When you said I forgot what you predicted.
Heat in 6.
And for the Boston series.
Yes, and I would have been right. Yes, I said. Remember, I said best case scenario we sweep them, obviously, and we kind of did that role play type of thing. But I ended up saying Heat in 6 because I have too much respect for Boston, and I would have been fucking right had Derek White not tipped that ball in. But anyway, back to you.
Box them out. Anyways,
no kidding.
But I do believe it's going to be back and forth. We'll win game 1. I think Denver Nuggets had too much of a relaxation and
rust,
and to get that rust off. We're still pumped up, amped, and ready. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're gonna take this one. It's gonna be a big shock. I think Denver is gonna have a different mindset coming into game 2, going on Sunday. But I do believe that it's going to be back and forth. And I think it's going to be a really, really close game on game 7. And I do believe so.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 7. If it goes to 7, I don't think we'd be able to do that again. But I am very confident we are going to be the ones holding that trophy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And
very
also,
confident.
ESPN put out a notification on my phone before we started this podcast. Tyler Hero is expected to play game 3.
Is he?
Yes. Eric Spoelstra said that he was not going to start him right away. Even though there are videos showing that he was doing shoot-arounds for today and yesterday. But he's not. Eric Spoelstra said he's not going to start him right away, and which I predicted that should be a good scenario for him to to loosen up the wrist, go through shoot-around, go through practice with it, and make sure he's 100% healthy to actually start. So Tyler Hero starting that game 3.
And and you're right, we did talk about that if I recall. We kind of said maybe kind of see how things go. If we're still rolling hot, which obviously we are, we're in the finals now. We continue to roll with the punches, and then if we win, in theory, I'm not saying this will happen. In theory, let's say we go up 2-0. Do you even play Tyler Hero at all? Do you mess that chemistry up? Is my point.
I don't think it's not going to be a chemistry issue. Tyler Hero, we know how he played. I mean, he got injured way too early in the playoffs.
The first game of the Milwaukee series.
hmm But when he was playing, he did play good. He
He did.
was playing great defense. But ever since he got injured, I mean, we were struggling, and we could still see it. We were still struggling.
Yes.
Even during the perimeter shots, even though the ones that we should make and missed, Duncan Robinson. That's probably where we're hurting the most. So
Especially in Game 6. And you were watching, he had, if I remember, Duncan had 2 open shots that that was a 6-point differential.
hmm
Dang it, we make one of those and we win the game.
hmm but I think that's where we're missing in that aspect is the clutchness of shooting. So for that, I do believe that we are due for him to come back.
And speaking of Tyler Hero, that'll move us into our last subtopic for the day. Tyler Hero. I've seen a lot of reports, don't know how true because of how biased sports media, how much they lie, but a lot of people are saying that we could trade him I've seen a report saying that they expect like maybe a D'Angelo Russell or us trade for another star of some kind. I don't know. Do you think Tyler Hero is really going to be on the team next year?
If it
I
if
mean,
he doesn't perform in the finals, I do believe that there's going to be some talk, but I don't think he's not going to get let down that easy.
I'm not saying he'll get traded, but I'm saying I think Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, Mickey Arison, and the boys, I think they'll
We
listen to
like him
phone
too
calls.
much.
I think they'll listen. We've gotten this far without him.
hmm
Do we need him? Can we trade him for more assets, clear some cap space up, maybe get another all-star player, or maybe 3 or 4 role players in a draft pick? I, I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, but
He didn't play nearly as well as he did the year before, where he won 6th Man of the Year. He didn't. He played okay. He played well. He did. I'm not saying he played horrible, but he didn't play as well as the year before.
yeah, because I think that's when he was trying to, I wouldn't say try to figure out the what his role was, but I think he was still too young to figure stuff out. And
Right.
with Eric Spoelstra being with him and talking or coaching him, and he's actually gone 100%. I do believe he went 100% more better at how he played this year than what he compared to last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He had better
I mean,
had
yeah.
better defense.
I'll give you that.
He improved his shooting a lot better. Um, I think he averaged almost 20 points the regular season, or maybe more than 20 points regular season.
Let me see
I
here.
think.
According to his last 2
Yes,
seasons,
2023 season, he averaged 20.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. So yes, he did average 20 points in the regular
yes.
season.
But you look at it, here's what concerns me. What concerns me is he got that big contract and now he's not as hungry. Because you look, he compared to his 21 season to his 22 season, 21 season where he won the 6th Man of the Year, where this season he averaged 0.6 less points, shot almost 1% worse from the field, shot worse from 3. It averaged more rebounds and assists and steals. To me, it almost looked like he wasn't as hungry because he got that big money. Like you said, he's a young kid. My fear is he's a young guy. He's a young kid, younger than me and you. He got that big money, and now he's just not as driven. You know what I mean?
And plus, I think he was also injured a lot more of this year than
He was.
last year. So,
And that's why I'm saying he definitely didn't have a horrible season by any stretch of the means. Probably he's our best scorer. Just pure scoring.
He's our best pure shooter.
Yes. With Victor Oladipo being
Still
second.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I love me some Victor Oladipo. We are from Indiana. He went to Indiana, played well for the Pacers, repping our home state, cool, great. Went to Miami, great.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player when he's healthy. It's time for us to let him go. He's just not reliable enough.
Yeah,
he's too hurt.
He's getting injured way too much.
He's too hurt. He's just way too hurt. We need to keep guys we need to keep Caleb Martin. I'm not too sold maybe on keeping Max Strus. he's going to want some money next year. I think maybe trade Tyler Hero for another star. You could get, because Bam and Jimmy are our stars.
Yeah.
We could have a 3-headed monster.
Well, I think we signed Kyle Lowry to a 1-year deal. So
I don't know when his contract expires. I know, I hope, because Kyle Lowry, speaking of Kyle Lowry, and that's me going back to a few topics ago when I said he's washed up. Yes, but that does not mean I don't think he's still a good role player. He's just definitely not what he was in Toronto.
No. I mean, did it help him?
Definitely not.
Yes, it helped him a lot.
Oh yeah, he has championship pedigree. Duncan Robinson was on an interview on the JJ Redick show recently and said that Kevin Love is one of the biggest reasons they're here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he wasn't in the Boston series too much, and Duncan Robinson said that he had no issue with that and that he was just cheering the next man on. Mind you, Kevin Love's a multi-time All-Star NBA champion, been to more than one NBA Finals, and probably a future Hall of Famer. And he's that unselfish. You don't see a lot of that anymore.
Yeah,
that's why players like John Morant don't have rings. Allen Iverson doesn't have a ring. Tracy McGrady, Gilbert Arenas, because they're selfish.
But yeah, I think, and also Kevin Love, he's a great mentor.
Yes,
he knows how to coach young players through many things. I mean, look at, I don't want to say he didn't coach Donovan Mitchell.
Who's that?
Donovan Mitchell.
What about him?
When he was on the Cavs at one point. Oh wait,
no. They didn't play it. You're about a year too late.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying there. No, they didn't play together.
But when he was on the Cavs, there were so many young players, and now look at the Cavs now. I mean,
right.
But I mean, I do. Kevin Love,
and it looks here. Looking here at Kyle Lowry's salary, it says this report was on January. Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry's linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. His contract pays him $29.6 in the 23 through 24 season. Excuse you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
See in the Eastern Conference right now, but they have dealt with So he will be under contract with us moving forward. 23-24 season, which 24 has not happened yet. So he will probably be under contract next year because we're not going to be able, I don't think, to find anyone to take on that contract unless we trade them Tyler Hero.
Which I really don't see us getting rid of Tyler Hero that easy.
Not that easy, you know. They're going to. I mean, that's why they're up there. And
if they would have done it, they would have done it a lot sooner.
Oh yeah, yeah. But my thing is, I think they'll at least take phone calls, see what's out there, because it's obvious we can win a championship without them. We're in the championship now.
Yeah.
But that's the time we have for today's episode. Tonight is Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Excuse me. 8:30 tip-off. It is in Denver. First 2 games in Denver. I am saying Miami wins. I think we'll win by over 10 tonight. Denver's going to have some rust. I think we're going to actually blow them out this game. Now, again, I don't think that'll be for the whole series. Just for this game, I expect us to win by over 10.
I do believe so too. With everything else, like I said, they have some rust with them. It's going to be a hard game to come by for them. So I say 10 plus.
I agree. 1. And then they'll respond well, and I think they'll blow us out game 2.
Yep.
And we'll go back to Miami and win 2 more because we'll be hot and need some bulletin board material. Because ESPN and all them biased sports medias are going to be flooding with Heat hate. You watch.
Yep.
But we'll wait. That's the time we have today's podcast. AB?
Don't want to say anything else? Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and like us on Facebook. We'll be posting.
Absolutely.
We'll be trying to be posting daily on our Facebook. And yeah.
And continue to like our short takes. Again, we get a lot of viewership. JB's video, I've seen one hit over 200. I've had a couple hit over 100 as well. So we are growing. That's great. However, hit that subscribe button. That helps us. then all we got for today's episode. And let's go Heat. Flames
Let's go
up.
Heat. All right.
Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat.
Check you guys next time. Let's go Heat, baby.
All right.
See ya.
Till next time.